Dreamscaper. This game has a parry, so it makes it into parry review. Out of all the games that I'm uploading tonight, this is the best one. This one is the good game that could have been great. It's not mid, this game is actually good. But the problem is, like, reverse cheerleader effect, right? I'm gonna upload so many garbage games that this game is gonna look like garbage, another pile of garbage amongst the bigger pile of garbage. But no, this is actually the only good game that we played today. Let me get into the parry, then I'll get into everything else. All the parry does is it staggers enemies on melee damage, and it reflects projectiles. That's all it does. So if an enemy strikes you with a melee attack, he does not take damage in any way, he just gets staggered. However, a projectile, you return it to sender, and they take damage that way, and they take a lot of damage. But I'm disappointed that the melee has no reprisal, or that the parry isn't like in Trinity Fusion, that it instantly damages enemies, it instantly reflects back damage. Doesn't matter if it's melee or projectile, whatever hits your parry in Trinity Fusion gets reflected instantly. Not here, not in Dreamscaper. Here, if you parry, well, all that happens is that you negate damage, and the enemy gets staggered. That's it. Now let's get into the rest of the good stuff. You're gonna see here when I attack, I'm gonna glow sometimes. I'm gonna glow bright white. The character outline and the inside of the outline of the character outline, it's all gonna glow white. That's the moment that you press the attack button. The game wants you to time all of your attacks, because when you time your attacks correctly, you deal extra damage. You're also going to see at the end of a dodge, you're going to see her glow again. Glow white means you can get extra damage on your attacks off of a dodge, so that's useful. The problem is, enemies are going to try to attack you as soon as you approach them, so you shouldn't dodge towards enemies, because that's a good way to get hurt. I'm not sure if you can parry the bosses. I know you can parry the bosses' projectiles. And I mean projectiles, not laser beams. If one of the bosses has a laser beam, I don't think you can parry that. But this fish boss here, as you can see, I parried his projectiles right back at him, and it deals a ton of damage. When you charge your ranged attacks with your bow or your slingshot, while you charge it, you're also going to glow white. If you release when you glow white, you deal extra damage as well. This game wants you to time everything. Everything is about timing in this game, but it doesn't work perfectly. It's not perfectly synergized, where you can just weave and flow effortlessly into combat. Like, the timing thing is kind of forced into this game. You're gonna notice it if you ever do play this game. You will take note of that. It's hard not to notice. So, the way the game works, when you're fighting here, enemies, you're in the dream world. This is a roguelike, by the way. You go into rooms, you go into another room, you kill enemies. When you finish that, you go into another room, you kill more enemies. It's kind of like Enter the Gungeon in that sense. But when you're not dreaming and killing enemies in your dreams, you're in the real world, and you do things like go to the park. And in the park, you sit on the bench, and that's where you buy things. Or you go to the bar. Right? If you don't go to the park, you go to the bar, and then you can buy other things, like permanent progress things, like, I don't know, like extra health or extra stamina. That's where you buy all those things, because this is a roguelike, and that's how they separated, like, the dungeon from the... Right? That's how they separated the fighting from the non-combat aspects of the game. So, I like this game, but I want to like it even more. I want an excuse to play this game, but... all of the games that I've played, except for Bleak Sword DX, every other game, all it makes me wish is that I was playing Trinity Fusion. And that's a problem, because if these games can't meet a standard of parry, a standard of combat, it means that all these developers are high on drugs, and they don't have a proper metric on which to base their games off of. I'm serious, it's not that hard to make a good functional parry in your game. I don't know how these people get it wrong. So here the parry deflects damage, it staggers enemies, it's gonna get a 5 on the parry metric. And on the fun and enjoyment scale, this game gets a 6 on the fun and enjoyment because the game is actually fun and there is something here. There's a good game here. The problem is that this is a good game that could have been great. And I don't know that the developers know that. They just, I don't know, they just made a game, duct taped a bunch of stuff together, and here you are. Which is, all things considered, pretty impressive, but it's just not enough for me to sink like 6 full hours into this game. I'm just not gonna do that. You also get hit by a lot of things in this game. Sometimes you think you're out of range, but you're not. So something about the hurt box and the hit box when it comes to enemy attacks, something can be refined a little bit, I feel. So yeah, I don't know what else to say, so thanks for watching, take care, and enjoy.